Hi everyone, welcome back to another video of ENS Academy. So guys, in the previous video we have seen the working and the construction of the Pelton wheel turbine. So over here in this particular video we are going to learn about the reaction turbine, that is nothing but the Francis turbine. So in this particular video we are going to cover the overall construction working of this particular Francis turbine. Alongside with that we will be talking about the work done and the power and the efficiency of this particular uh, Francis turbine. So guys, please watch this particular video till the end, and guys, if you're having any doubts, any queries, please leave a comment, and please do subscribe to my education channel Engineers Academy. And guys, also please press the bell icon also, so whenever I upload such an informative educational video you will get instant notification. So guys, without wasting any time, let's begin with our today's topic, that is nothing but the overall construction and working of the Francis turbine. So as we have seen in our previous video, that is the working of the Pelton wheel turbine, there was a nozzle which is connected to the penstock. So this particular nozzle converts the pressure head of the water into the kinetic energy. It will increases the flow rate basically. But over here in the case of the reaction turbine, the nozzle is not present over here. The penstock is directly connected to the casing, and this particular overall the impeller or the runner vanes is directly immersed into the water. The total whole of the turbine is immersed in the water. In the previous video of the Pelton wheel turbine, we have seen that this particular Pelton wheel, like the water jet is like imparted on the bucket itself. But over here, the whole of the turbine gets immersed into the water basically. There are mainly two types of the reaction turbines. That is nothing but the Francis turbine, that is the mixed flow type of the turbine. Water enters into the casing radially, and the water will leave that particular casing axially through the draft tube. This particular turbine is known as the Francis turbine, that is the mixed flow type of the turbine, whereas the second one, that is nothing but the Kaplan type of the turbine. In the case of the Kaplan turbine, like the water will enter axially and the water will leave the axially. So that is nothing but the axial flow type of the turbine. So in this particular video, we are going to learn about this particular Francis turbine. We will be only focusing on the Francis turbine. So let's now talk about the overall construction of this particular Francis turbine. So over here in this particular image, you can see that this particular Francis turbine consists of the outer scroll casing. This particular scroll casing is in such a way that when the water enters into the particular scroll casing, this is the particularly spiral shaped casing with the gradually decreasing area. So over here, as we have seen, that when the area gets reduces, the velocity or the flow will increases. This particular scroll casing is made up of the ABS. In certain scenarios it is made up of the concrete itself. So that depends upon the size and the size of the impeller as well. After that, there is another component in that scroll casing. So that component is named as the guide vanes. Now these particular guide vanes are the vertical, like the airfoil shaped arrangement which is out at the periphery of this particular scroll casing, that is inside the scroll casing. This particular guide vanes guides the water, like it will guides the water to that particular impeller, to the rotating part of the turbine. The main function of this particular guide vanes is like when the water enters into that particular scroll casing, like water will directly come in contact with that particular impeller with a greater amount of the kinetic energy, so that it will like impart a particular force. So to damp, and it will ultimately create a vibrations. To damp out that particular vibrations, these are the guide vanes are used. Also these particular guide vanes are connected to the servo mechanism, and in that particular servo mechanism, this particular guide vanes will having a provision that it can, like it will increase and it will decrease the width between this particular guide vanes. So also we can say that this particular guide vanes carry out the function of the throttling process. So in that particular throttling process, it will control the amount of the water which will enter into the runner. So basically this will act as a control mechanism over here. So these particular guide vanes are the airfoil arrangement, airfoil shaped, and it will allow water to enter into the runner. The next and important element over here in this particular Francis turbine is the rotating part, that we can call it as a runner basically. So over here in the case of this particular rotating part is the heart of the Francis turbine. This particular runner is having the runner vanes or the runner plates. These are the runner plates are of the same airfoil shape, and it is fixed one. In the case of the Kaplan turbine, the runner vanes are the adjustable one, and this can rotate at that particular their own axis. But over here, these are the fixed blades. The number of the blades varies from the 18 to 24 numbers, and these are the radial curved veins, so that the when the water enters into that particular runner, there won't be any production of the shock. Okay, so the water will enter into that particular turbine without producing any shock. So when the runner rotates, the water will enter into that particular into the cavity which is there at the middle of the runner blades, and the water will come out through that particular cavity. So at that particular point, the this particular water is at the lower pressure than that of the atmospheric pressure. So this is the reason it will come out to the draft tube. So draft tube is the fourth part of this Francis turbine. So over here, see, these we have seen the four parts. So these are nothing but the outer casing, guide vanes, a runner, and the draft tube. So draft tube is the tube which is having the increasing cross sectional area. As you can see over here, this is the draft tube. This is having an increasing cross sectional area, and this particular draft tube is connected to the tail race, so that the water will come out through that particular draft tube, will enter into the tail race. So this is nothing but the overall construction of this particular Francis turbine. So guys, now let's move towards the calculation part, that is nothing but the work done and the power in case of the Francis turbine. So to carry out those particular calculations, we need the velocity triangles for Francis turbine. So this is nothing but the velocity triangle. That particular velocity triangle represents the V, that is nothing but the velocity of the water jet at the inlet, and V1 is the velocity of the water jet at outlet, that is the outer periphery of the vane. So this particular vane is nothing but the inner vane that is connected to the runner shaft. So this particular vane represents the overall velocity triangle. So let R is the radius of the wheel at inlet of the vane, and R1 is the radius of the wheel at outlet of the vane. So over here we have got the W is, that is nothing but the angular speed of the W is equals to angular speed of the wheel. We can calculate the tangential velocity of the vane at inlet and outlet respectively. Let U is equals to the tangential velocity of the vane at inlet, and U1 is the tangential velocity of the vane at outlet. So U is equals to W into R1, that is equals to pi d n divided by 60. So over here, the d is the diameter of the wheel and at inlet basically, and n is nothing but the RPM, that is the revolutions per minute of the wheel. Similarly for U2, we can calculate that is equals to W into R2. So we have got the formula that is pi d1 into n divided by 60. So as we have seen in the previous video of the Pelton wheel, the mass of the water striking the vane per second, that is equals to the rho into A into V. So over here the rho is the water density and A is the area of the jet, that is equals to the pi by 4 d square, and V is the velocity of the striking jet. Now we have got this particular mass of the water. Now we can go for the angular momentum of water at inlet and outlet respectively. So first of all, we can calculate the angular momentum of the water at the inlet of the vane per second, that is equals to the momentum at inlet into the radius, that is nothing but the distance. So basically we have got the formula that is equals to rho into A into V in VW, that is we have got from the velocity triangles into RE. So RE is nothing but the radius at the inlet. Similarly, we can calculate the momentum of the water at the outlet of the vane tip. So by using the same formula, it is equals to rho into A into V into VW1 into R1. So we have got this particular VW1 from the velocity triangles at the exit at the outlet tip. We have got this particular VW1, and over here the R1, that is the radius of this particular vane at the outlet tip. So now we have got this particular momentum. Now we can go for the calculation of the torque, and ultimately this will give us the actual force basically, and by using that particular force we can calculate the work done. Ultimately the work done is equals to the force into the displacement, as over here the displacement is nothing but the movement of that particular runner blades. So this will be ultimately W, and this particular displacement will be the speed of that particular runner blade, and ultimately this torque will be the force exerted by that particular water striking jet on the runner blades. So to calculate the torque will be the rate of change of the momentum at the outlet and the inlet. So this torque will be the difference of this particular momentum that we have calculated for the inlet and the outlet tip. If we substitute the values that we have got, the formula becomes T is equals to rho into A into V into VW into R minus into under bracket minus rho into A into V1, so that is nothing but the velocity at the exit at the outlet into VW1 into R1. So we have considered this particular as the whole of the term with the negative sign. So just because that if we look at the velocity triangle, the velocity of that particular flowing jet at the outer side, that is the V1. So V1, the direction of the V1 is not in the direction of the flow. V1 is in the opposite direction. So that's why we have considered over here the negative sign. So at the end, we will be getting as a torque, that is nothing but the rho into A into V into under bracket VW into R plus VW1 into R1. So this is the formula to calculate the overall torque exerted by the water on the wheel. So guys, now we have got the torque, and we also know the angular velocity of the wheel. Now we can calculate the work done, that is equals to the torque into this particular angular velocity, that is equals to T into W. So if we substitute all the values, we will be getting rho into A into V into under bracket VW into R plus VW1 into R1 into W. But over here we have got this particular U is equals to W into R, that is for the and U1 is equals to W1 into R1. So if we substitute this particular value of U into this particular equation, we will be getting work done as rho into A into V in the bracket VW into U plus or minus VW1 into U1. So this is the formula to calculate the work done per second on wheel basically. So over here we have also got certain criteria as we have seen in the case of the Pelton wheel turbine, that is if the angle beta is greater than 90 degrees, then this particular we will be selecting the negative. If the angle beta is less than 90 degrees, then VW1 will be positive. If the angle beta is equals to the 90 degree, then this particular VW1 will be equals to the 0. So this is nothing but the overall criteria to calculate the work done in the case of Francis turbine. So now let's move towards the calculation of the power in case of the Francis turbine. So over here the power produced will be equals to N0 into W into Q into H in watts. Basically, so this particular NQ is the overall efficiency of this particular Francis turbine. I have considered overall efficiency of the Francis turbine, not the hydraulic efficiency or the mechanical efficiency. We have considered the overall efficiency over here. W is equals to specific weight of the water. Q is the water discharge in meter cube per second, and H is equals to the net head available in meters. So this is the formula to calculate the power produced in watts. So guys, over here in this particular video we have seen the overall construction and working of the Francis turbine alongside its different parts and the functions. Also we have seen the calculation part, that is the calculation of the work done and the power in case of the Francis turbine. So guys, I hope you understood this particular simple topic of the Francis turbine. If you are having any doubts, any queries, please leave a comment, and guys, please do subscribe to my educational channel Engineers Academy. Thank you so much guys for watching this educational video.